This is Friendship podcast, and I am here with my beautiful co-hosts Joy
Hey.
and Karli.
Hi, friends.
We are so excited for our episode today. The title of this episode is This is Becoming an Entrepreneur. And while Joy, Karli, and I were former coworkers and were employees, each of us has blazed a new path in very different ways, and have been on some fun and amazing personal journeys in addition to this journey together, the This is Friendship podcast. We each do some very amazing things outside of coming together once a week to chat on our podcasts. And of course, we're always super grateful that you join us and listen in and subscribe to our podcast. Today, we dive into how each of us have started our own businesses and what becoming an entrepreneur means to us, and a little bit about our individual journeys. So we hope that you kick back, take a sip of your coffee, or maybe it's wine, or if we're hanging with you when you're getting things done in your house, we're so grateful that you're here. So turning it over to Karli, first round goes to you. Tell our listeners about 823 Group Arizona. How did it come about? Tell us a little bit about the story of 823 Group Arizona.
Sure. Thanks for that awesome intro. It's so great to be here again with you girls and have our listeners here. I started 823 Group Arizona about a year and a half ago, so end of 2019, and it is a health and wellness business. I do coaching and I do fitness sessions for women specifically, and it was my entrepreneurship journey was years and years in the making. I've wanted to do my own thing for a very long time. And that vision has evolved and changed. And I've had about 1,000 different ideas. My friends, my close friends and husband could definitely attest to that. They started to not take me very seriously when I'd be like, oh, I'm going to do this. And how about that? I was fortunate enough in 2019 to be in a place where I could take a really big leap and not have to worry about income coming in, and being able to have great support from my husband, and not being in a place that I was very happy at my job in the corporate world, if you will. And I really was needing a way out. I realized this was the time for me to take that leap. So I had been working at a kickboxing gym, doing some training, being a trainer there, not where you had to have any training to do it necessarily. You had to have an understanding of what was happening. But I'm a really good cheerleader, and I'm a really good motivator, and I understand from my gymnastics background, body in space, strength, doing things with good form. I have that awareness and that knowledge. So I was able to apply that at this kickboxing gym, and it rocked my world. I loved working there. I was only there for 4 hours. First, it was 6 hours a week, and then the job just picked up, and I moved down to only 2-hour shifts a week. So I was there part-time, but I loved it. I loved working with the clients when they came in and seeing them get stronger and be able to do things that they could do after a month that they couldn't do when they first walked in the door, and just seeing their confidence grow at the same time. So I had that in the back of my head. So when I was at this point where I wasn't very satisfied and wasn't feeling like I was in the right place, I just had that itch to do something new. Knew the timing was right for me to really do some exploring. So I landed on group fitness instruction. I thought I was going to go and work for somebody else and do that for a bit of time. And as time went by, I realized, why am I going to go work for someone else again? This is my chance. I've been wanting to work for myself. This is my idea. I'm going to run with it. So my business started out with group fitness instruction in their space. I would take everything to them and do the fitness training with them in their space, and specifically a small group. So a group of friends, a group of family members, a group of girls who wanted to do something different and healthy for a brunch or a get together during the day, on a weekend, whatever. So that was my initial idea. And then through that, I found health coaching, and that was where I wanted to go next. But you had to have some time in something else before you could. That was a prerequisite for this training program that I did. So then I added health coaching in, and that's really where my passion is, because I get to work with women from anywhere because everything is virtual, and being able to work with them has been amazing. So that's really what I do and how it came about.
I love that you addressed the taking the leap, because when you become an entrepreneur, it is absolutely a leap. It's a leap in mindset, it's a leap in security, it's just a leap. And it sounds like you had been planning for it for quite some time. And then you also defined it. You took some time to actually define what that looks like. And then as it's continuing to evolve.
Absolutely. To land here in a health and wellness arena is very different than I ever would have thought 10 years ago. I always thought it would be something in retail, in my own boutique, my own shop, something along those lines, because that's always been my career up until 5-6 years ago. And it's just, that's where my interests always were. And I still love that. But this really fuels my fire, and I feel like I'm making a difference, which is it's something that's very important to me.
It definitely shines through in everything that you do. Karli's website, a23groupaz.com, is beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. So if you have a chance, you should check that out. I think you've addressed a little bit of this, Karli, but what is your mission and purpose for A23 Group AZ?
Sure. So my mission is to help women live lives of wellness on their own terms. So it's not something I define for them. I really help women tap into their vision of happiness, their vision of wellness, their vision of living a fulfilling life. That's what I help them find. So the women I coach are feeling a little bit stuck. Maybe they feel they're at a crossroads. They may not be ready for change, and they need help moving into it because their doctors told them they've got some health risks, and if they don't make some changes, they're not going to live a very long, fulfilling life. So I work with women to find what they have inside of them to make that change happen. So I'm an accountability partner. I'm a cheerleader. I'm a serious best friend who tells you like it is when you need to hear it. But I do it all with positivity and love, which is those are some of my strengths. I very much am a positive person, and I really do believe that everyone has it within them to live the life they want to live. And I don't always think women are empowered to think like that. I feel that we're expected to take care of others. We're not always expected to put ourselves first, which really we should be doing in order to take care of others in the best way. And those are things that I didn't do very well when I was mom and when I was younger. And I want to share that knowledge to other women and reach out a hand and pull them up with me and encourage them to make some leaps and make some changes and understand that change is scary, but you can do it, and you're a hell of a lot stronger than you think you are.
Thank you, Karli. There is extreme mission and purpose there, deep mission and purpose. So thank you for walking us through that.
Any listeners out there who want to talk, I am here for you. So reach out. You can hit the email hello@thisisfriendshippodcast.com, or you can go to my website 823groupaz.com and learn a little more about what I do and click through to schedule a free consultation. I'd love to talk to you.
Thank you, Karli. Joy, transitioning to you, Find Your Joys. Can't think of a better title, name, even has a lot of mission and purpose even in the title. But can you tell our listeners a little bit about Find Your Joys, how it came about, and a little bit about your story?
Yes. Thank you so much for bringing up this topic. And I can't believe we haven't talked about this before. This is really fun to get to share a little bit of what makes us all light up so much to our listeners. So thanks for this awesome topic. Yeah. And I think, like you girls, I've got so many awesome inspirational things, so many interests, and so many things on my future bucket list that I'd love to do. So, Karli, like your story, I feel like this has been a little bit of a work in progress, trying to figure out, okay, so what do I actually want to do? I know I want to be able to have some flexibility with family schedules. I know that I want to be able to be there for activities. I know that I don't want to necessarily put travel. I was traveling quite a bit with my previous job. I knew that I didn't want to be traveling as much, although I still love to travel. But a little bit, I've just through a long-term process of editing came about it in a fun roundabout way. So before Beckham in my previous world, I went to a book baby shower, an Usborne book baby shower, and I was blown away by these books. I ordered a few for a couple baby showers that I had coming up, and I ended up keeping them. This is so terrible. I ended up keeping them because I was like, wait, I don't want to give these away. I want to keep them to read to my babies someday. So I realized that I had plenty of time to get me some more books, but I wanted to keep those. But that really spoke to me. It was just really beautiful illustrations and messages and stories that I wanted to make sure I didn't lose that between when I was in my job and someday when I wanted to future have a family. So that was really my first experience with Usborne books. And Find Your Joys is it's continuing to grow, continuing to expand. Find Your Joys is a book adventure for you to have a fun, compassionate way to grow with your kids, for ways for you to bond, to instill a love of learning and reading together, a way to really build that relationship that you can have last forever and have that comfort zone to be able to come back to with your littles and for their entire lives as they grow up with you. So that's really what Find Your Joys is all about. I happen to have a Usborne Books and More focus. And about a little over a year ago, just heading into the pandemic, is when I decided to jump the train. I went to another book party that a friend was having and said, just jumped the gun. I said, I have loved these books. I have for a really long time. I pick up a book every time I'm going somewhere, whether I'm at Target, whether I'm at Costco, and they have an amazing book selection there too. Whether we're at the library sales that they have, wherever we go, we're always picking up books because that has been one of the ways I can really connect with Beckham, and he'll really slow down for me. So I really enjoy that snuggle story time. So it's a lot of personal benefits, but also from the time he was born and just starting to love books, Karli, you gave him some of his favorite Sandra Boynton books, and he just loves them. So you definitely helped kick off his love of reading. But through the years, have definitely learned not every book is treated equally. And I'm mind blowing to me because a children's book seems like like anybody should be able to write it. But I think after reading through tons and tons of books, not every book is treated equally. And I think it's taken a lot of time and a lot of energy and a lot of effort to realize that and to understand that. And so I really want Find Your Joys to be an easy way for busy mamas to become an expert at finding the right books that they need and the right books that they're looking for to help them, to help their little ones learn and grow in the situations, whether it be big feelings, whether it be learning about something, homework helpers, whether it be something just learning empathy, something like compassion and things like that. Those are really that's really my mission. What I really want these to be for these mamas. I want to be an expert Usborne lover. Why did I choose Usborne Books? A couple of reasons. Content quality and durability. I think these books are made to last. And usually, if you've fallen in love with one kid, you might fall in love with more and you might have more. So you might want to bring those books along for your other littles' journeys. So those two reasons, I feel like I can really connect and relate to many other mamas with the content quality and durability, because you've got all kinds of different books out there that rip all the time. So I've got tips on best ways to fix the books, best tools and things. There's also even Usborne even offers and believes in the book so much that they believe in a 50% off replacement policy. So I think just the value that they put on those books, and with the 50% back guarantee, I think is awesome, and a really strong belief in the product itself. I think there's some amazing things that really define a great book that I'm working on getting into details on my website and working on building that, but want to create book lists for different age groups, for different topics, different struggles that mamas are having, that can really become some tools that empower women, that can cut out the time, stop worrying about all the other books that maybe aren't a full mission or value system that you believe in. I really don't want to focus on books that don't have added value and that aren't just, oh, we're going to the ice cream store, or something else with extra content. And through my website that I'm working on building, I want to be able to give accurate reviews and share my opinions of why I think these are the most amazing top books for you to check out. If you were going to check out 5, if you were going to check out 20, if you were going to add home library investments for long-term growth in your littles, this is what I would choose. And that's what I really want to share with everyone and become an expert in the Usborne books.
Thank you, Joy. I have gotten a couple of books through you for both friends and clients, and raving reviews. There's so much heart to all of that. And so just even from a gift standpoint, they're phenomenal. But to hear the story, the background, all of your mission, if you could sum up your mission and purpose in a couple of words, I think you already hit on it, but in a couple of words, what would that be for Find Your Joys?
Find Your Joys. I want to be an expert Usborne advocate.
Love it. And the best way to find you, are there a couple of ways to do that? I know your blog is being developed currently, but what is the best way for our listeners to find you?
Yes. So the best way to find me is I have a Facebook group. My Facebook group is Joy's VIP Book Nook. Or my up and coming blog site address is findyourjoys.com.
Findyourjoys.com. Love it. Thank you, Joy. I'm just super excited, or I secretly and selfishly wanted to hear the history and the backstory to H23 Group AZ and also Find Your Joys. Thank you for sharing that with me today, but then also with our listeners. From an entrepreneur standpoint, I took the leap, as Karli so eloquently stated earlier, about 4 years ago, and went through the editing and or the evolution process as I was going. So I had some security, which I suggest and I recommend to everybody if you're planning to take that leap. I guess for me, I'm just so grateful that I was actually in that position, because not everybody is in the position where they can do that. And the evolution of styledbyandi.com started from a lifestyle blog perspective, and I actually launched in beautiful Arizona on a trip that I took traveling, shocking, to Arizona to visit Karli. And it evolved then into lifestyle. So home, travel. Home is really the love for real estate and design, of course. Travel is just the experiences and the stories that we get from travel. Fashion has always been a big component of what drives me and what I'm passionate about. and then was able to transition into To Know It, and then fitness. So fitness has been almost a 10 plus year journey for me. Started out getting a group fitness instructor certification, a cycle instructor certification, and then that kind of evolved or segued into Pilates. The blog is still a work in progress. And that's one thing that I think is beautiful about being an entrepreneur is you're in the driver's seat and you can tell that story. We'll talk a little bit about marketing and branding in our next episode, but that's ever evolving and changing. And then from a real estate standpoint, I could talk for hours about real estate. My primary focus right now is residential real estate. So developing relationships with clients, helping them with their largest transaction. Real estate really is an asset and helping guide clients as it relates to profitability with that. But as I'm getting more into real estate and recently became a broker, I love pretty much everything about real estate. So I love the national components, Airbnbs, Verbos, rental properties. I love the commercial side. Really, there's so much and there's so many facets as it relates to real estate. Really have been enjoying the journey of developing and growing that business, and I look forward to everything that there is to come with all of that. And mission and purpose for me is to add value. I guess I don't have it as eloquent as both of you articulated or as you had, but I think for me, it's the heart, soul, and service component that's so big. And I also think as a thought leader or as an expert, we, in whatever industry we're in and or what we're passionate about or what we've developed a business in or became an entrepreneur in, I feel like there's a component there where we need to add value and educate. Something as simple as like To Know It, if someone is going on vacation and they need a quick link to purchase a swimsuit, or they want to know how to put an outfit together, or they're traveling to a specific destination that's featured on a blog. I think sometimes it makes connecting the dots a little bit easier for people. And that's always in the back of my mind when I'm pursuing things as it relates to my blog and also from a real estate standpoint. Thank you for joining us for this episode of Becoming an Entrepreneur. If you're doing a little career soul searching, these episodes are definitely for you. We're going to conclude our first round of this episode here, but please do join us for our next round or our next episode next week, where we answer questions similar to what do you love most about the time you have had to develop your passion, vision, and business. In addition, how becoming an entrepreneur or starting our own business have changed us. So thanks so much, Karli, also known as 823 Group Arizona, and Joy, also known as Find Your Joys. We'd love for you to leave us a message. So please always sneak into our DMs and let us know how you're feeling. Let us know any topic ideas. Send us a message. We'd love to connect with you and continue to build this community. We're going to conclude for now, but we look forward to seeing you next week. Thank you, Joy and Karli.
Thank you.
Bye, Andi. Thank you.